Hi guys, has Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission President, sealed her fate? So there have been growing calls for her to resign over support she has given to Israel since the attack by Hamas some days ago. Now, many of those who are demanding that she resign have been Eurosceptics. This could be put down to simple anti-EU feeling. But there's also a growing resentment within EU member states towards Israel since the IDF issued an order for the population of Gaza to leave and head south. This puts von der Leyen in a very difficult spot. Backpedal and lose whatever influence you had hoped to have over Israel, or double down and risk greater calls for you to resign.
Thank you very much for receiving us here. And indeed, we are friends of Israel, and when a friend is under attack, we have to stand together. We stand by you. It was very important for us to come here today. Thank you very much for hosting us here. We have been this morning in the kibbutz Kfar Aza, and there are no words to describe what we have seen. The suffering of the people, the atrocious attacks of Hamas. These are acts of war, and therefore Israel has the right to defend itself, and Israel has even the duty to defend and protect its people. I fully subscribe your call on Hamas to release all hostages immediately and to refrain completely from taking civilians as shields, which Hamas is constantly doing. Indeed, Hamas is a threat not only to Israel, but Hamas is also a threat to the Palestinian people. And therefore, again, our call very loud and clearly, release the hostages and stop from taking people as human shields.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, when Ursula von der Leyen released her statement at the beginning of all of this, where she said the European Union are fully supportive of Israel, it has the right to defend itself, I was a bit taken aback because the European Union and the European Commission generally present themselves as honest brokers, as neutral, or as neutral as possible. So I was a bit shocked by her statement. Now, I thought at the beginning, okay, it's a standard statement. We fully support Israel, and that's enough. But she doubled down. She continued with this line of thinking. Now, I don't know if it's because she believes that the European Union have to be like the United States, one voice. But the European Union is not like the United States. She's not the president of the European Union. She's the president of the European Commission, but it's not the same role as the US president, somebody who's elected and then they represent the country on the world stage. Yes, there will be disagreement, but they are the elected representative of that country. The European Union is not like that. So I don't know if this was some sort of hubris on Ursula von der Leyen's side, where she believed, well, we can be like the United States, we have to act like the United States, so I speak and I represent the European Union. In the European Union member states, there is disagreement on how to react to what happened on the 7th of October. So I think this was a massive mistake. Now, his plan is working on a different level to I am, and she understands that this was the way to go. I've mentioned before that this was perhaps an attempt to have some sort of influence over Israel later on, show massive support, and then after you're in a better position to pressure them to pull back or whatever. I don't know if the European Union has that influence. The United States certainly has, but Europe doesn't. So it was very strange for her to take this line of approach to Israel. Now, what's the future for her? I think unless something changes, I think there will be growing calls for her to resign, unless she backpedals. But if she backpedals, she will lose influence and she'll be seen as weak. But if she doubles down, I think there will be greater calls for her to resign. It was a massive mistake. I think what she should have come out was, we support Israel, but we want them to act within the international framework. They need to respect international law. That should have been the first statement. And that, I think, would have received the support of most people. This was a similar statement to what was issued by the United Nations. The United Nations said, yes, Israel has the right to defend itself, but it must respect international law. That was not the statement from the European Commission President. And I think it's going to come back to haunt her. There are, as I said, there are growing calls for her to resign from Eurosceptics, of course, but also from supporters of the European Union. I don't know whether she should resign or not. I think her position is extremely difficult. Unless something changes, unless she changes, I think she should resign. Because she doesn't speak for all European people. She doesn't even speak for member states. It was a massive mistake. Once again, not a mistake to not support or to support Israel, but a mistake not to have some sort of qualification for that, to say that we support Israel, but they must respect international law. Let me know in the comments. Before that, before we finish, I think this another aspect of this is perhaps the fact that she's German, and Germany has been attempting over the last number of decades to present itself as a greater friend of Israel for historic reasons, of course. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.